Good morning. It's been 2 or 3 weeks, I think, since I've actually been out here on the road. Had some bad news in the family. Grandma not doing so hot, so I went and saw her. Holidays are around the corner, so gonna be traveling a lot. Not gonna be out here too much. But all I really wanted to do for this kind of last video of the wood section is oh, that's terrible. I wanted to just finish this deck right here. So I got all this wood. One day I went and got about 10 2x6s. The next day I got about 10 more 2x6s and probably 10 2x4s. And a couple of the 2x6s I got were these extra long ones. So those will be what go across here, and then these guys across here. And then you can see this one's going to come down to that deck. So hopefully I have enough here to finish this, and then I have all that plywood to throw on top, and hopefully that's enough. I already put a sheet of plywood up there. That deck is done. It just needs the coping. This deck is not yet screwed down, but there is a sheet up there, and I still got to cut some of the corner out so the coping will fit. So yeah, finish this deck and finish the coping, and then at least all the wood stuff will be done. Then I'm going to start doing just small little wood things. Like I've mentioned before, I'm going to fill in the flat right here with pallets and plywood. I would like to put something along this if I do that, probably just a couple different types of quarter pipes. I want to get away from the 8-foot transition. I have all this wood to play around with. And plus I still have a bunch of wood I can still gather. I'm going to use this thick stuff to make a couple more little templates to make the 3-way extension, which I'll show a drawing of. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's going to be 4 feet wide, so it's going to be as wide as this. And I want to try to make a few of them, or at least 4, at the very least 2. But I'm going to put them on this deck, and basically I'll just have them pushed up against the back and then flipped up so they're out of the way. And then if you wanted to make this 4-foot quarter taller, at least with a channel gap, so you'd have one in this corner, one over here, or butt them up together in the middle, whatever you want to do. You can basically turn that 4-foot quarter into a 5-foot, 6-foot, or 7-foot. Man, I forgot to go through and put a bunch of screws down in this, and it all bubbled up. So that kind of sucks. I went through and put a bunch of screws in that just before we painted it. This one really needed it, and now it's all warped. You don't want these sheets completely butted up to each other. You want a little bit of a space, because if we didn't do that, we got stuff like this. So what I'm going to do is take my saw, cut a space right in the center of this so that it can fall back down. Same with that one, and then put a bunch of screws around that cut. And then I've got another one on that side right there. And then another little one over there. Yeah, just this whole thing's just been a learning experience. Didn't even know it was gonna rain last night. The sunrise should look pretty cool right now with all those clouds. It's harder to get out here in the winter, so I knew the videos were gonna slow down. like I said, holidays and stuff like that, you know, gonna make it even harder. But yeah, let's throw the tripod up. Well, this took me about an hour. There's only one screw on each side right now, so I'm limited on screws. I just wanted to get the boards in. I can then put it up maybe, and then get more screws. Alright, I got the deck standing up temporarily, held up by these. I say temporarily because I'm gonna undo them, put a brick underneath, and then screw it back in. And plus there's only like, I think one, maybe two screws in each board. But that is my hour's worth of work for today. The bigger deck. I still gotta extend it a wee bit. You can see these are not, you know, square. It's not a big deal. And I'm gonna cut that board off there. And then this deck is gonna meet this one with a little bit of a slant, so that'll be kind of like a landing. Alright, real quick, just wanted to show these bubbles. I just cut a line down the center of the bubble. That way I can just screw this down, and then if I need to, this side will probably overlap a little, and then cut that side so that it will also fit all the way down. But basically they expanded way too much, and we didn't have any sort of gap when we butted up the sheets. So make sure you leave an 1/8 of an inch gap when you do this. And also make sure you put plenty of screws down to hold it in place. That was another big issue with this section. There just wasn't enough screws to hold it all down. But a couple friends coming out today to ride. Hopefully I'll have this done before they even get here. And then I'll probably start working on this, just finish it real quick. Hopefully. Good morning. It is December 22nd, 12 o'clock, and I am freaking sweating out here. So on a negative note, when I first got out here, spent about 30 minutes just picking up trash. Really sucks. That's how the local kids are, but whatever, it's kind of expected. Can't say I would have been any different as a kid. But on the positive note, somebody did bring out a bunch of this 3/4 inch plywood, which ended up being very useful. So 2 pieces left. See the needle. But with the stuff that someone left, so I called about getting more plywood from the place down the road that sells it for like $10 a sheet, and they were out, which I didn't even consider. But they're, you know, not a like wood supplying company. They just happen to have it every now and then. And so luckily, because somebody left this out here, I was able to fill in that patch back there. So now I just got to cut everything to size, and then I had enough, just enough to finish that corner which there's just a tiny little hole back there. It's not a big deal. And I could use like something like that to fill it in. So the goal for today is going to be, I have 2.5 hours to be out here. So I'm just going to really focus on this deck, put a bunch more supports underneath it, hopefully get all the posts up and cut, and then cut those tops off of that and paint the whole thing. We'll just see where time takes me. And then probably save the last at least like 30 minutes to ride. I am gonna have to get some, I don't know, like little pieces of steel plating or something. I'm starting to get little holes like this. Just cover those up. And get some more flashing for that. That one rain just kind of destroyed a bunch of stuff. Like this got all bubbly. Another section that just didn't have enough screws in it. I could probably just, I don't think I have to cut these. I think I just put some screws in it, it'll sink it down. I don't really ride this section as much as I used to anymore, now that I've got the bigger section. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Didn't film really any of this process, putting this thing up. Did do it by myself. I did as far as this big deck over here, and then I got help putting this side up. And let's see, there's nothing really special. It's screwed into this deck with a bunch of screws, and I put these little support pieces. So it's resting on this one, which was already here. I added those to support the center, and then I added those two in the end to support the end over there. And then I just have the post with screws, and then little, you know, pieces that just help support. So like this one, for example, I'm gonna add a piece to butt up underneath here. I'm probably gonna put a couple pieces going across the center of the bottoms of these, and then posts underneath of that. Yeah, really just want to make sure it doesn't fall down. And yep, probably I might actually move this one more to this corner so I can get both of these at the same time. Don't really have a whole lot of motivation right now, but I don't get opportunities like this often. And then yeah, my first 30 minutes to an hour out here was just picking up these little chocolate bars and kicking chocolate off the ramp. And it was literally everywhere. It's like just 100 chocolate bars. It was like they just walked around and were just like throwing them around. And then there was glass bottle that was shattered. There's another just like nuisance, just because I have my kids out here all the time, and oftentimes their shoes will come off and they just walk around barefoot. It's not smart just because of the cactus, but glass makes it that much worse. It's just annoying. It's like spend a year and a half making something that's, you know, something to definitely be proud of, and then people come out here and probably like 30 minutes just destroy the place. So this was this is what I did first part of the day, just picking up other people's trash. It looked like somebody just purposely went, like I had like boards and stuff leaning against the ramps in certain spots. It looks like they literally went and just pushed all of them down just to do it. And then like the buckets I had under there, like everything was just pulled out for whatever reason. This stuff, which I was going to use for concrete, which I'm pretty positive is used to strengthen it, they just poured it into the fire pit for whatever reason. Yeah, all these boards were just thrown down. It's just super annoying. I don't understand it. Like when I was a kid, I would find dirt jumps in the middle of the woods or wherever, and I just thought it was like amazing. I thought it was, you know, a lot of work went into it. If anything, I wanted to help make it better and not destroy it. I don't think I'll ever understand the generation below me, the generations. That's enough venting. I'm gonna get to work on this deck. Try to stay positive and listen to some comedy. I'm out. Alright, I have an hour left. Doesn't look like I did a whole lot. It definitely feels like I did a lot. It's just putting all these posts in, making sure all these boards are screwed down, which I still got to finish over there. Making sure where they meet, I have studs underneath those cracks. I'm going to put a support here in the middle of this and in the middle of this one, and also where that brick is down there in the middle where those two boards meet. And I got to go and fix some stuff under that deck that fell down. And I can start. I gotta put that one in. I have to cut the deck out right there, put the railing up. Like I said, I have an hour left, so I think I might just call it for now. Ride a little bit. Like this is rideable right now, at least, like, you know, the first 8 feet of this. And yeah, looks good. Paint it, that'll be quick. Let's get up here. Yeah, the support's underneath this. There's one right here that's splitting, so I'm gonna have to re-support that. And then there's a support under here that the bricks underneath it like kind of fell, so I gotta fix that. But besides that, this is pretty solid. I just put a stud going along this crack underneath, so now I gotta screw these both into that. Same for that. There's one under here, one under here. I gotta screw that board down. I gotta screw this board down, and then cut the one which fell, so I have it. I cut the one that fits in that corner. But this should be rideable. I'm gonna put one more stud. That's a pretty big gap right here, so I'm gonna put one more stud right here. And I guess depending on how much they have left, definitely gonna have to go get more 2x4s and stuff, because I do want to put the railing up on here. But yeah. I'm freaking burnt out. I'm super sweaty. Still annoyed that there's just chocolate all over the ramp right now, which is just gonna make it super greasy, super slippery. It's very frustrating. It's very annoying. Be a nice manual line, place for people to hang out and not be in the way.
Alright, it's basically done, and it's been 3 weeks since I uploaded a video, so you can imagine the next video, the railing will be done and it'll be painted. So that's it for this video. Good night.